let's move on to sellers quickly. Um, talk a little bit about sellers. What Nancy touched on asking the listing agent prior to your offer, but what can sellers ask of the buyer to get more what they want in a transaction?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're seeing a lot more. We're seeing sellers ask for, or I guess get more comfortable asking for a lot more things from buyers in the way that the market is right now. With the competition being so high, obviously it's a seller's market more than we've seen maybe ever before. So they have a lot more wiggle room to ask for things. But touching back to what Suzanne said, people don't realize that if they ask, they don't realize the information that they can get from asking. So if sellers ask for, let's say, exactly like I think Suzanne said, they could ask for 60 days of occupancy. Maybe they're trying to look for their next home and they need a really large cushion from the buyer, and that's going to be what seals the deal for them. Price is always important for sellers, but if you've got a seller, if your number one thing is you need 60 days in this home and you've got a buyer who's on a month-to-month lease and they are not tied down to anything and they can give you that 60 days, that could be the deciding factor between someone who may have been, a couple $1,000s above on the asking price. So free occupancy, appraisal shortage, we just hit on that. That's been pretty much prevalent in every single offer. Every seller, they are in the mindset right now that if their home is priced appropriately, the way that the market is, it's probably going to go above asking. But if they've got their listing agent giving them the appropriate information, they're also cognizant that an appraisal issue could come up. So appraisal shortage coverage is huge for sellers right now. If buyers have the ability to do that, quick closings, easy inspections where buyers aren't going to come in and nitpick the $5 GFCI plug in the kitchen, things like that, little things that you can ask the buyers for that aren't necessarily outrageous. But if you're on the buying end of that, simply as the buyer's agent asking, like Suzanne said, tell me exactly what you as your seller needs to make this happen for a buyer. Let's see what we can do. It gets you really far. And a lot of things are not too much of a headache for the buyer to agree to, and it makes a big difference in them getting the offer or not.
Great points, Camille. And Suzanne, can you touch on to where it says sellers remember this? Why isn't the highest offer always the best offer? What goes into that when you're looking at an offer?
Well, I think you have to consider the seller's own unique circumstances. And so if that is, hey, I need more time, and maybe you get 5 offers and they all give you varying degrees of time, and maybe the best offer, price and other terms, is not the offer that gives you the time that you need. It is okay to take that collection of highest and best offers, pick the one that is what you really want, but maybe not exactly, and go back to that buyer's agent and say to the buyer's agent, hey, we'd love to accept your offer. There's one thing in it that is sort of a deal breaker. Are you willing to negotiate that one thing so that we can select your offer? And in many cases, I've had buyers come back and say, absolutely. If that's the one sticking point, we'll work with you on that. I had it happen when I had multiple offers on a small property in Dearborn, and one was cash. The cash offer was about $5,000 lower than the other mortgage offers. My seller said, well, geez, what do we do? And I said, well, you can choose one. You can not choose one. You can go back to one that you'd like to accept and ask them to pay what these other folks are willing to pay. They said, we can do that. And I said, sure, you can. Worst thing they can say is no. And they said yes. The cash offer said yes, we'll pay what the mortgage folks will pay, and my folks were happy, and they were $5,000 richer. So that always makes people happy, right?
For sure.
The other thing is, I think from a listing perspective, I think we have so many people out there right now who would love to make a move and take advantage of these great interest rates. But because they can't see the inventory, they don't know where they would move to, and they don't feel confident that they really have that as an option. They need to understand how they can pursue it. And putting the house on the market doesn't mean you're moving. Getting offers doesn't mean you're moving. When you get the offer that allows you the time that you need to feel less anxious and confident in pursuing a new home, that's when you make a move. And I think we have enough tools in our arsenal to help people be able to do that with some confidence. And I just don't think a lot of people out there who've been considering a move know that.
Yeah, great. Thank you. This last page, it's a show in itself, guys, with these, at least the first two options. So real quickly, bridge loans from the lending side, that's going to help release equity from the home you're selling to help purchase the home that you want to buy without actually selling your home first. So that helps move homes along. House Hop is a program that we have on the real estate side that will purchase the home that you're buying to help the home that you're selling to secure the house that you're buying. Again, certainly a topic for one of the shows. And as a seller, certainly you can request a delayed closing from your buyer if that helps. So, a lot of great information. There's a lot of things going on in the real estate and mortgage market right now, from prices and programs and speed. And the number one key is to work with a professional. The number one key is to know, even though prices are increasing and there's a lot going on, you still have a place that you have to live. You still have a place a neighborhood you want to be in. You still have a place where you want to send your kids to school. You still have investment opportunities out there. It's okay to jump in and get involved in it. It's still worth it. Interest rates are still very low. It's a great time to buy and sell. Suzanne, Nancy, Camille, any last comments or anything you want to make?
Well, I think there's a question in the chat about the timing of the offer and if it matters. And I would say it definitely does matter. And you're better off being first offer in or last offer in, just like most anything, because you're going to have more attention paid to you if you're not in the middle. And I like being the first offer, because if you write a really good first offer, the listing agent is happy that they've received an offer, and they're going to read through the offer carefully. And typically, if another offer comes in, you will be notified that it's a highest and best, or there's a deadline situation. And if you wrote a really good first offer, if you're close, even if, let's say you improve it even slightly, I think they give you credit for the fact that you wrote first. And I think that's an advantage. Any advantage you can get in this market, I think, is worth it. The other thing, obviously, is putting your offer in last, but that can backfire because the listing agent can get ticked if you showed it in one of the first appointments and you waited until the end to sneak your offer in. That's a hassle for the listing agent, and making the listing agent's job easier is what your buyer's agent is going to try to do to make things successful for you. So I wanted to answer that question.
Great. Thank you, Nancy. I missed that one. I appreciate it very much. Suzanne, Camille, Nancy, I can't thank you enough. I know you guys are extremely busy. Wonderful information day, wonderful show. And thank you. Our next show, guys, for all the viewers, is May 20th at 9:30. And we're going to talk about credit and how to improve your credit score, understand your credit, how to get to the point of having the optimal financing availability for you. So make sure you tune in May 20th, 9:30. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. We'll see you later.